What's going on, guys? So today on this Shoky review, we're going to take a look at one of the Patreon picks from last month. It's just taking me this long to get around to it. Of course, it is the Gouf R35 from the original Build Fighters line. So, yay! And by original, I mean the Gundam Build Fighters, not the other line. Either way. So this is Ramba Ral or Mr. Ral's personal little suit. It is this crazy Gouf R35, and we saw it a couple times in the series, and it is incredibly powerful. Yeah, the blue ogre is around. So you got all the nice artwork back here. You got exploding bases or meteors or something. You got weapons happening here. Really nice CG works in the background. HG build fighters there, build fighters there. Gouf R35, obviously. And I love how they changed this to the little like GP area, and then you got build fighter material custom mode, may able to see it, and it is number 2014, made in Japan in 2014, because I can read. And if you come to the bottom, you got action, so he can do things, and they got him there on GP base stand, which I don't really have anymore. I gave my only one away. You've got weapons and armaments, which is, well, quite a lot of stuff. You got swords, you got sword storage, you've got a whip thingy, as Goufs have. And you've got customized backpack, which I don't even recall him ever technically having, but hey, it's an accessory. And come to the side, you've got HG Build Fighters, Bandai Hobby.net, and this was number 15 in the line. Gouf R35, all the good things. Red Eye Glow. Bandai. And the final side, you've got the obligatory front and rear shot. It is a very blue Gouf. It's a blue Gouf. And actually, going that other way where the front and rear shot are not the same, because there the shields are facing backwards, so yay. And you've got it right there doing that like spin attack that he did that one time. That was actually really awesome. Of course, you got the read up there, but I can't read it because it's in Japanese and I'm not. And you got MS07R35, 18.7 meter tall, 6.3 or 63.4 tons. And you got all the build fighters stuff right there. And you come over here, you got the little guy with the toilet. You've got the obligatory don't stick a Gouf in your 3-year-old's eye because it has pointy shoulders, I guess. And you got 1500 yen, fairly affordable little kit, illustrated by Koma, and the background images by Yamamoto Hiroyuki. Yay! Even Mr. Ral can't avoid being upside down in a Shoky review. Yep. And I do believe we have a time lapse for this, so let's go ahead and get to the build montage. I know you guys missed the music. Alright guys, and here is the Blue Ogre done and done, and I really did have fun building this kit. It is my first high grade goof, and I know you guys probably let me know in the description down below, or in the comments I should say, that is this one based off the Revive, because it did not seem like old engineering. So, and I've never built a Revive goof, but it makes sense. The engineering on this is very well done. I like the way the hoses work, stuff like that, and the way the eye can move is all good. Now, we do have all the accessories out here, but I want to talk about stuff we don't necessarily use on this guy first. So, like much of the other Build Fighter kits, you get little backpack adapters so that you can swap out different backpacks and stuff like that between the different kits. I don't know specifically what any of these are for. I think this is for the Build Strike. I could be wrong. And then those are for any of the other kits. So I don't have a whole lot of the first generation kits that actually have softball backpacks or striker packs, so it is what it is. But you can use this guy right here. So you see the very long kind of peg that plugs into the backpack. It will plug into the adapter like so. Super easy. Easy peasy. And now it won't come out. So you do get that. And this keeps popping out because it is just a simple ball joint. Now another thing is, with the detail work on this guy, you do usually get some stickers. I didn't use any of them, so the eye sticker is here. I didn't use it. I painted the eye, although it is perfectly fine to go ahead and use those. And then the gray parts here, I just painted on. We'll look at that here in a second. And with the paint didn't really go on. I need to thin it out a little bit better. Went on a little too thick. I had a couple issues with the top of the paint kind of getting all scungy, so I had to do that a little bit. But you can always hold on to the full sheets, use them later, and of course you guys know I love to use the reflective parts for other stuff at other points in time, so yay for that. Now there's quite a few accessories. I'm going to start with the backpack because it's probably the least impactful thing here, and we already took a look at part of it here. This thing really reminds me of something from Transformers G1 especially. Now I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be a thruster pack because it's mounted like so, and you do have a big tank right here, but it definitely looks like cannons. I mean, just look at that. But it does just plug onto his back right in that big old port. No problem. You can pivot just a little bit like so. The tank moves. You could rotate it, I guess, if you want to make it a weapons pack instead of a thruster pack. It's up to you, but no biggie on that part. And you also have this thruster pack kind of deal. This one's a little bit weirder, and I messed up the panel lining there. So you've got little ball-shaped vernier here, and they can rotate a little bit right through here. The ends don't rotate. This part is completely open, and it annoys me because these things like to pop out a little bit. And you can plug this in one of two ways. You can plug it in up here, and you can see how that's already stressed. So you would insert it like so, or you can insert it directly into the backpack hole right there between the vernier on the back, which I don't know why that was coming out. And you could do one or the other, or you could do both. In this particular case, I'm going to show you both. Come on, get in there. There we go. So he will have all of the maneuverability. I mean, look at all the thrusters on this guy. So it's pretty cool. I like the setup. It's unnecessary, but it's a cool add-on. I actually like the look of that tank just kind of sticking off the back. And like I said, you can pull one off and just have that kind of thruster effect going on. No big deal. And like I said, those like to just kind of pop off. But we'll set those aside because they're neither here nor there. And of course, you do get a set of hands that are for weapon holding like these, and you get a set of hands that are just punchy fisty fisties like so. Now I'm going to go ahead and swap these out for the time being. Now this really reminds me of the Efreet because you do get the big blades like so. I'm going to swap these hands on here just for a minute so we can look at the swords. I mean, you can leave them on regardless, it doesn't matter. Hey, come back here. But this allows us to check out the swords, and you get the nice effect blades there. Does look really awesome, and just like the Efreet, they have a tab for the hands, and you can just come over here, pop the hands open like you do. Come on. Or take the whole back off, whatever. Either way, whatever works for you. It's going to be difficult. And part of me really wanted to paint these hands gray, but I'm like, no, Raul was all about it being blue. So I left it all blue for him. Come on. And unlike a lot of the other hands where you can just slide the guns in or whatever, these you want to tab stuff into the fist. Forgot which way. Hold on. I might have the wrong sword in my hand here. Yeah. Okay. So tabs go in just like so. It should go in just like so. I don't know why it's fighting me. Then close the hand back up. Why is this being a problem? Never had a problem. Today it wants to be a problem. Because the camera's on. Rule of reviewing. Nothing will ever go wrong until the camera's on. Oh, totally didn't even have it in the thing. Okay, so if you get it in the hand and then close it, it'll stay fine. You're not going to drop it, is essentially what it's going to come down to. And you get that look. Of course, you can get both swords in there. Looks really nice, like so. And what I love about a lot of these kits, you totally get weapon storage. So if you pull the swords out, like so, and you can just yank the blades off, those are a very, very snug fit. So just be careful. As you can see, this one, wow, didn't even want to come off. And you've got a couple ways to do weapon storage, one of which is down here. Oop, just go ahead and yank the arm off. Wow. The ball joint ain't very scary, is it? So you've got these little guys down here, and you can just insert there. Now this is the way it shows you in the manual, but there is also a different weapon storage mode. But for the most part, you get your awesome heat swords right there in the legs. I do dig that. However, if you want to be a little sneaky, you can just tuck them under the shields like so. Now you do also get the cool whip effect, and since this pretty much only works with the normal hands, not the fist hands, may as well go ahead and show that off now. Like all Goufs, you get this little bit right here, and to get it in there, we might have to strip the hand down. Trying to figure that part out. Do believe, yeah, we're gonna have to open the hand again, which this hand is a little bit more forgiving than the left side. And guys, forgive all the noise outside. They're still working on the parking lot. It's an never-ending process. So you do get this part, and you can see you've got, sorry, I always have it upside down. You've got tab right there. It'll plug in to the hand as the weapons do. And this is a cool weapon, and he does use it effectively in the episode at the end of the series for the final battle. It's pretty cool. I like it, but there's a little weirdness with the way the Gouf likes to do things. It likes to operate with its arms facing the wrong way. So you've got this up here, so you got to use your rotation. But because of the way he's holding that, it's always going to be like this. But this is some nice bendy plastic, so you can really do what you want kind of with it. It'll hold position for the most part, but it's always going to sort of disappear on you. I don't think, now you can't really rotate it, but it is what it is. If you want to paint it gold and make it like the Lasso of Truth from Wonder Woman, you can totally do that. And last but not least, we'll get to the party pieces on this guy. And you've got these. Now, in a lot of the versions of the Gouf, including the Gouf Custom, you do have a cool little, like, extra hand cannon. Now, of course, everybody's going to rip into me as to what they're actually called. But basically, it's like a hand that's all guns. So it is what it is. These are mounted on little ball joints. That's pretty cool. As you can see, that one just pops right off. And mounted all in blue. And here's the part that I painted instead of using the stickers, and you can see right there what the way it went on. It went a little thick in some places. That's the way the paint was working. This one is slightly better, so I need to thin out my paint a little bit. So these do plug on to the arms. You plug onto the back of the forearm right by the elbow. And something that's going to be a little bit hard to see, this guy is actually 2 different shades of blue. And it's hard to see, but it is there. You can really kind of see it here between this part and this part. They're very similar, but this is a darker shade of blue. This has like a little bit more green in it. So you've got these weapons, and of course, for the most part, like I said, the Gouf never wants to use his arms in a meaningful manner, so you get him like this, to where he can use these cannons. It really reminds me of a Transformer type gimmick, so he can point them upward for the most part. If these shoulders would ever cooperate, I'm going to have to really work these shoulders out. Okay, use that little bicep rotation, and you can get a pretty cool look. You want to rotate the fist up into it like so. If you use the straight fist instead of that hand, I think it works a little bit better. These little parts move a little bit. I do really dig the look here, and if you just do a little bit of bend, it's a very intimidating, hefty suit. And of course, you got your shields to go with it, and they plug on to those guys. Very simple, like so. Where's my... There it is. Super simple. And now you've got the R35 pretty much done and done. Look very intimidating on the shield. You can tell the difference between the blues a little bit better. So, like I said, slightly darker blue, slightly lighter blue. It's pretty neat. I do dig this thing. Now let's go ahead and go over details and articulation. It's pretty articulate for what it is, and I did paint on some detail work, especially with my favorite dark gray ever, which you can see here on these little parts, right here at the hose endings. Same thing back here. Now I didn't do it here, but I totally still can. And also down here on these little leg bits. Now, none of that needed to be done. That was just something I wanted to do. So if you look at the instructions, you look at the colors, that doesn't have to be done. It's just something I wanted to do. And then also right here, just to note those little vents in the skirts. Now you do get the clear orange part there, as a Gouf usually does. And I painted the eye with some metallic red and then a little bit of regular red. It's very blood looking. I don't really dig it, to be honest. I kind of wish I had just gone with the sticker sometimes. Here, let me tilt it so you can see. Now, the eye can move. If you pull the head off, like a lot of these kits, you just get this little slider right there. And if you've got a handy dandy knife nearby, you can just slide the eye. Now, it is a little stiff because of the paint I put on it, but you can get it facing just forward in a very Terminator-esque way. I did also paint inside the snout right there. I always do that. I feel like it's a necessity. I also painted that part just right there so that the fin looks a little bit different. No big deal. Now, since we're on the head, you saw that double ball joint for the head. You can rotate, though I think he's going to be limited in going all the way around, but maybe it will. Yeah, he went all the way around. Okay, but the neck, as I can tell, is going with it. So the entire thing is rotating. He's not rotating at the bottom of the head. He can turkey neck, turkey goof neck right there. The hoses are that soft plastic, so they do bend. They can move a little bit. You can also, maybe you can do a little confused Gouf. Maybe not. Okay. Shoulders, you do have captured pilot cap ball joints here, so he can have a nice little shrug. These are very stiff and have a hard time wanting to come out. You can see I had to pull on that. So you can really, yeah, what up? I don't know why. Don't know why, it just is. Okay, and you can rotate all the way around. You've got that kind of flip-flop shoulder joint from Gouf's and Zaku's. So if you move the like nice spiky part of the shoulder out of the way, and we do that, we can almost get kind of a high teacher, but not really, at least not that manner. So we can do it Nope, can't even do it that way. He's not going to do a high teacher. He's just very much not going to do it. That's okay. But we saw that already. Bicep rotation. Single jointed elbow, I believe. I don't think there's anything at the top part. Nope, doesn't bend. So yay for that. Standard HG hands, as we've already seen. Now with Gouf or with a Zaku, because of the hoses, you're not going to have a ton of articulation in the waist. But you can rotate a little bit. You do have some tiny ab crunch there, is what it is. And also, if you had other weapons, you could plug them here on the side skirts into those little ports like you would do for any Zaku. Now also, because of the pipes, you do lose articulation in the legs. So he can kick forward about to there, but I think I actually pulled the side skirt out a little bit. Yeah, I did. Actually completely pulled it out of its socket for that. And he can't do the splits too well, but he can do sometime to get the arm out of the way. Oh no! Oh no! Oh, that totally happens, by the way. It's on a minor little hinge. You can just tap it right back in. So he can do a little bit of Jean-Claude. The hips have the little shimmy shimmy going on, so you can tilt them a little bit this way. No twist shimmy, just the back and forth kind of shimmy. It's a little weird like that, but it is what it is. Skirts do move. These are actually on a separate ball joint connected to here. If you've never built Goop, that's what it do. You got thigh rotation on the upper thigh. You do get double jointed knees that become limited because of the armor hitting right through there, but not bad. Gets a double jointed knee should get more than a 90, but this only gets a 90. I do like the split part here for the knee, so you got the two different blues and blacks going on. And the foot, you got ball joint, or not a ball joint, you got a hinge up there and a ball joint down here, so you can get a decent thing. And then you also got another hinge down there on the foot, so you can really get some good feet articulation to get a decent stance. Now, one problem I had, at least once his backpack was on, he did tend to fall over. Like, he just fell over backwards quite often. But it is a very good kit. I'm not going to lie about that. It's a good kit, especially because Goofs are fairly well intimidating versus a Zaku. It's like, so if you got the Zaku, amazing, and this guy, this is probably going to win. One, because Goofs are generally more powerful, but also because at this point, Rumba Rao is incredible, or Mr. Rao is a very powerful build fighter. It is what it is. Alright guys, so for final thoughts, yeah, I really do dig the Gouf R35. I've been putting off building it for a long time. In fact, I was trying to give it away for a long time and never actually managed to. But it's a fun kit. I like it. It's affordable. Gouf has always been one of my favorites. I never knew where it came from or anything like that. I just dug it. And of course, this is a very cool custom version of the Gouf, so can't really go wrong. Now, the only thing that kind of sucks is trying to get that eye to be effective. Like, usually with Zaku's and stuff like that, other mono eye kits, I usually put the eye straight forward. This one, I've been having issues with whether I want to have it straight or sideways. Actually, it's much easier just to go ahead and push it that way rather than try to fight it from underneath. That works out so much nicer. Of course, spare sword blade, always a big help. So, if you guys want to get a hold of one of these, it's probably easy to find one, probably still laying around somewhere. Maybe, I don't know. I do dig it. And guys, of course, as always, I want to thank my patrons, John, Andy, Steve, and Colby. This was one of, I think it was Andy's pick. I could be wrong. I don't remember. And I'm too lazy to go back and check the video. So, it is what it is. Whoever picked it, here it is. It's done. You happy now? So, big blade there. And, of course, if you want to have the ability to pick kits for me to review and stuff like that, go ahead and check out the Patreon right here and become a patroneer like those guys are. And, of course, check out the Shoky gear right here on the screen. Need more stuff to be sold. I really love my shirts. I got to go buy some more of them. And as of right now, through the rest of the month, through May, with the Lupus for Lupus contest, all merch sales, even my regular ones, are all going towards the charity. Speaking of which, the Lupus for Lupus contest, if you need any more information, it's up here in the card, because I've got an entire playlist right there with all the rules, all the entries so far, including from myself and Zeta, and I meant to say prizes, not entries. But guys, that's it for this review of the Gouf R35, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. And remember, as always, keep on goofing.